Hey everybody, Cody with Princess Craft RV, and today we're going to go through the Encore ROG 12RK, and this is the Survival Series. So what that is it's basically a package that's going to include a lot of the stuff that we talk about. So if you like the things that we talk about, you got to get the Survival Series. But let's go through it. We're going to start right up front here. We're going to talk about how to get this thing coupled onto your tow vehicle. 2-inch ball, standard coupler latch. Just going to fold it down onto your ball and make sure that your latch gets closed all the way down and that doesn't lift back up. To release it, you're just gonna pick up on that latch and flip it open. Safety chains are gonna go underneath your receiver hitch and clip onto your tow vehicle, and they do need to cross underneath the receiver. Your 7-way cord here is gonna plug into the back of your tow vehicle. This is gonna run your brakes, your lights, your turn signals, all the good stuff from your tow vehicle to the trailer. 7-way cord, when you're not in use, can actually store right here in this holder. To keep it up off the ground. Last thing that's going to need to hook up to your tow vehicle is going to be your emergency breakaway cable. This is for the electric brakes on the trailer. If for some reason you do get uncoupled from the tow vehicle, this is going to get yanked out of this little box back here, and it's going to engage the trailer brakes to bring the trailer to a stop. You've got a tongue-mounted hand crank sidewinder tongue jack here. It's got 2 wheels on it. It's going to make it extra stable. It gives it a little more stability, which is really nice. It's a great feature that I like. Once you get this loaded, it actually is going to swing away. You pull this little lever here, and that allows you to swing away the jack for ground clearance. It's going to come with a standard 20-pound propane cylinder, just like you're going to find on a barbecue pit. On and off up on top with the valve there. When you get ready to refill this or exchange it, you're just going to close your valve, undo your pigtail, undo your clamp bolt here on the side. It's just a wing nut. This does just need to be finger tight. It doesn't need to be tool tight. You don't need to over crank on it. You're going to lift the cylinder out. You can take it, exchange it, refill it, whatever is available to you in your area. Spare tire mounted up front here. If by chance you do get a flat, it's held on with 2 lug nuts right here. You're just going to pop those off. That's going to allow you to remove this from the spare tire mount. Moving around onto the side here. This trailer does come equipped with some really cool features. So let's start up top here. You do have a full luggage rack on top. Now this thing has a really good weight capacity for what it is. This rack is rated to carry up to 400 pounds of gear on it, which is really pretty high. That's a lot of stuff, so that's great. On the Survival Series, we also have the LED spotlights on the side, kind of on the corners. We've got one here, one on the other side. What I really like is the way they actually did an SAE port on the side. So you can plug in various things. You can adapt them however you want them to fit. If it's a 12-volt product and you want to mount it and you want to put an SAE end on it, you can do that. As we have 2 open available ports, one on this side, one on the other side for add-on features. Is pretty cool. Moving on down here, another thing about this size unit is it has actually equipped with a Dometic furnace. So it's got a propane burning furnace on it for heat, which is great. You don't see a lot of that in trailers this size. That being said, this is going to be your furnace exhaust here. It's going to get hot when you're running the furnace, so don't cover it. Don't burn yourself whenever it's running. A couple of ID tags here. We have your tire recommendation, pressure, sizes, all that good stuff. This one here is going to have your VIN on it. Again, it's going to have some repeat information for tire pressures, tire size. 4-corner stabilizers. These are going to be hand crank. You just crank them down, apply light pressure to the ground to get this trailer stabilized once you get it all done. 30-amp power cord is going to come with. To get this all hooked up, you're going to have your L-prong. You're going to line up your other one on the camper side. Give it a little twist, and there is a collar that you would use to lock down onto that. And then what I really like about the Furion ports is it gives you a light, shows you that you've actually got power there. So you're not trying to trace if something doesn't come on, do I actually have power to the camper? So that's a really nice feature. Right below that, I'm going to unplug this to get it out of the way. We're going to have a solar port. Again, this is an SAE port, but this is going to be for an exterior solar panel to plug in and allow some solar charging. Below that's going to be our TV cable antenna input. The TV antenna that actually comes with this unit, it does come with one. I'm going to grab this from the inside here. They have designed to be removable. So this is a King antenna. So King makes a really good antenna. It's completely removable. They've mounted it onto their own bracket, which is actually going to slide onto some holders that are mounted onto the luggage rack. So this thing will literally slide down onto a couple of mounts right here. And then you can take your cable and you hook it in to the cable port down there. And that's how it is. So it's completely removable. Keeps it up in the air whenever you need it and removed when you don't. Your door holdbacks on this are going to be magnetic, which I really like, so no more latch that you have to remember or you forget and you yank the door and break it off. So these are really nice. You just push back to it and it holds it right in place with magnets, and they've done a real good job of clearancing this so you don't smash your power cord. A couple of other cool things that come with the Survival Series, you're gonna get kind of your off-road shovel. So if you get stuck, you have something to dig out with. You also get a couple of different size axes. I mean, the whole thing is about being out there and getting off grid, right? It's pretty cool that they come with this. And they have adapted these, so they've made holes in them to be able to lock them on. So they've all got a master lock through them that locks them to the gear rack. So that way your equipment is secure. Wheels and tires, you're gonna wanna check your torque specs on these, check your tire pressures on them just like you do your car. Adjust your tire pressure per the ID tag on the front of the trailer. Check your lug nut torque. We're generally looking for around 100 foot-pounds of torque on those. We recommend it prior to leaving for a trip. We also do it here before it leaves our facility to make sure that everything is tight. On board, we're gonna have a couple of different water hookups. This one's gonna be for our city water connection, so you're gonna hook up with a water hose to that one with a water pressure regulator. The other port here is just a cap. We're gonna pop our cap off, and this is where we can carry fresh water on board. Now this thing has a ton of capacity for fresh water to carry on board, 42 gallons, which is amazing for this size unit. Most trailers this size that we see of this style don't even carry water. So this is something really cool. It's a great feature, and 42 gallons will go a very long way. If you're hooking up with a hose, you do have a little flap here on the door you can move out of the way. Run your hose in, lock this back, and secure everything there. Coming in behind the ladder, we do have a spray port. You're gonna have a quick connect hose that goes into this. You just push the collar back. If you've ever worked with airlines, quick connect airlines, push the collar back, push your water hose in, and let off, and that will lock that into place, and it's just kind of a curly-Q hose with a sprayer on board. Roof access ladder for you to crawl on. You can load your gear up on top, just make it easier for you. Moving around back, we're gonna have our rear awning. So this is a bag style rollout awning. It's gonna come straight out. It's gonna have a couple support poles. It's pretty straightforward, not a whole lot to it there. Going into our rear hatch, it's just kind of a double door system here. These are just gonna open. They're held with some stays. This door is gonna have an inside handle that you've got to use to get it open. But coming into here, they've done a good job of getting some things put in. We've got a 2-burner cooktop. This is gonna run off of your propane. Now you do have to have a stick lighter or some type of lighter to light these, but you're just gonna turn your knob to the high position, use your lighter to light it. Once it's lit, you just do your cooking. Pretty straightforward there. And it does have your glass cooktop cover, so you want to make sure that's closed when you're not using it. Let your burners cool, don't fire them up, and then close the glass cover. It cannot be used as some kind of warming plate or anything like that. Sink, hot and cold water. This is a really nice faucet. You do have your spray selection here, so you can kind of get that shower spray versus just a stream out of it. Microwave, just a standard turntable style microwave. Got your bottle opener so you can crack open some nice refreshments while you're back here. And we've got a little bit of storage underneath your sink. We've also got your microwave cord back there in the back. So I always play caution to that. A lot of people like to pile stuff into their storage compartments and they accidentally knock that plug out and now our microwave doesn't work. Check that, it's a good idea. Moving up top here, we've got a couple of speakers for our radio. We've also got a whole bunch of switches up here. So moving over, we've got our main lights, which is just gonna be our overhead light for our cook area here. Our cabinet lights are gonna be the ones back here behind the speakers. Our rear porch light is this nice big bright one over my head here. And then we've also got our 12-volt refrigerator switch. So if that switch is off, our 12-volt refrigerator will not work. So we gotta make sure that switch is turned on if we wanna use the refrigerator. We've also got a double USB charge port, which is a really nice feature. GFCI 110 outlet. Test it, reset it, make sure our light's green, we should have power there. Last two switches we're gonna have in here. So our water pump switch is gonna be for extracting that water from that 42-gallon fresh water tank. Just gonna kick it on. If that light is on, your water pump should be ready to go, and that's gonna give you water at your faucet. Now it is a pressure demand pump, which means it will pulse, which is completely normal as that pressure drops and comes back up. So you will get some pulsing out of that. And then freshwater tank is going to be the other one, and that's going to actually run our lights right here, which tells us our water capacity levels. So it is just kind of a momentary switch. You just push it and it lights up. So when you run your sink and you've got water, that drain is actually going to come out over here on the side of the trailer. I say side, bottom. There's actually a pipe that comes out right here underneath. You can kind of see my water here. It's going to be this drain pipe right here. So you'll need a collection device under there to collect that water depending on where you're camping. So one other thing underneath the trailer that you're gonna need to know about is your freshwater tank drain. That's gonna be this valve right here. You just open it up. That's gonna allow your freshwater tank to drain. This unit is also equipped with a 2-inch receiver hitch on it, which has a 200 max weight capacity, 200-pound max weight capacity on it. So you can put a bike rack in there, you can put a luggage rack in it, put some gear on it, maybe carry a generator or something like that, under 200 pounds. Do have a nice little storage compartment over our fridge, which has a motion sensing light in it. So the light automatically comes on as soon as you open the door. And last but not least, 12-volt refrigerator. Control knob's gonna be right here in the corner for temperature settings. All right, moving on around to the other side of the trailer here. One more thing before we get there though, flag mount. So when you get the trailer here, it's gonna come with a flag. It comes with an American flag. And so they've got a flagpole mount up here so you can fly that flag. Our cooktop, external cooktop. So you've got the 2-burner in the back, but they also give you a griddle that can actually hang on the side of the trailer here. And it's all quick connect, so it's easy to hook up. Quick connect hoses. This all works just like that spray port that I showed you. This is gonna go on the side over here. There's a port right here on the back of here, and then it's gonna hook into this port down here. Now, the only thing about this port that you need to know is that there is an on-off valve on it right here on the back behind the coupler. When it is pointing to the ground, no gas will flow through this. When it is pointed in line with the pipe, it will allow gas to flow. That also locks this coupler from accidentally being disconnected. So it's a safety feature. This thing is super easy to set up on here. It just sits on a couple of mounts. So it's got 3 mounts there on the wall. And this thing, as you can see, has the 3 receivers. So this is gonna mount very similar to the TV antenna that we were speaking about. Just like that. It's got a grease trap on it, so typical kind of griddle cooktop here. The cast top is removable for cleaning and all of that. So for lighting this, it's all got a built-in striker, so you push the knob in and you rotate it to the left. You can hear that click, and every time it clicks, it's actually igniting the sparker, trying to light the gas that's there. So once that gets going, you can kind of look in underneath and see your burner so you know you're lit. Side awning. It's going to be just like the rear awning. It's going to be a roll-up bag awning that's going to pull out. It's going to have support poles. This is going to be our other spotlight on the back here, plugged into our 12-volt port. And we've got one more at the front. So you can add additional lights in. Again, you know, we talked about that on the other side. Pretty cool feature. In our compartment here, again, with the Survival Series, this one is pretty much spec'd out with all the available options. It also comes with the 100 amp hour lithium battery, which is a 100 amp hour lithium battery. So also with the battery bay, you can expand up to a total of 300 amp hour AGM or lithium batteries as an option. And it does have a little cover board that sits in here and completely covers those up. And then you have a nice size storage compartment. So I'm sitting on the passenger side of the trailer here, and this is kind of the helm, if you will. This is where all of our switches are for a lot of our interior features, as well as some exterior. We've got our JBL radio, all of our command switches, and we've also got a battery monitor in here. Now, battery monitor is a great feature to have on a trailer like this, so you can really see your expected run times of how long you can go if you're not plugged into shore power. It's a cool feature. Anyway, our main light switch here, gonna be all our overhead lights. Cabinet lights, again, are gonna be our lights up here in this little storage cubby. Porch light curbside is gonna be the one on this side, and it is a 3-ray rocker, so it's got two different colors. It's got amber or it's got white. And our underglow lights, which are going to be underneath the trailer. You can see we've got some accent lighting down there, which is nice. We've also got another USB charge port. Now the 4 switches below that are all labeled as our power ports. So this is our front curbside, our front roadside, our rear curbside, and our rear roadside. So remember, your passenger side of your trailer is considered your curbside, and your driver's side is considered your roadside. So when you turn these on, you'll get your spotlights turning on and off depending on where they're located. Battery disconnect switch all the way down here at the floor. Very simple procedure for on and off. If the key can be removed, it's turned off. If the key is in and cannot be removed and turned this way, it is connected. Comes fully equipped with a TV, so after you've spent all your time outside playing with the axes and the shovel, you can come in here and relax, watch a little TV. This TV does swing out, and there are a couple things behind here that we'll need to point out to you. This is going to be your power for your TV. It's a 12-volt TV. It's got a fuse in line on the power cord. Good thing to check if you're having any TV operational issues. We've also got an HDMI port here for connection of a DVD player of some type, another 110 outlet, and we've also got our antenna port, or our coax connection. This is where you're going to run your coax connection from here to the TV for the rooftop antenna. When you store this, make sure it gets latched all the way back so it doesn't pull out during travel or slide out during travel. A couple of safety things we've got our fire extinguisher. Got our gauge on it. Make sure that our needle is in the green. We should be good to go on that, but it's there if you do need it, if you have a fire issue. We have our fire exit window, our safety exit window. To operate that, you're going to pull this red tab, just pull it straight out. That's going to allow the screen to pop off. Then you're going to pull up your lever or handle here for the window, and that's actually going to allow you to push out, and you can push that all the way out to where that window swings all the way open, and you can climb out. You can prop it there and use it just as a ventilation window, so it doesn't have to be used only as a escape window if you had to. You do have privacy shades over your windows, going to be projector style pull downs. Safety device mounted up on the roof is going to be our smoke alarm, 9-volt power, so check that just like you would in your house. And I'll show you our last safety device once we switch sides here, because it's mounted on the other side in the corner. The thermostat back here in the corner that says Dometic on it, black square, is going to be our furnace control. And it is going to be a lever on the bottom for temperature control. All the way to the left is the coldest setting. All the way to the right is our hottest setting, and then our on-off switches on the top. It's just a little lever. Now these types of thermostats, that lever on top is pretty stiff, so it may feel like you're going to break it, but you got to push it pretty hard to the left to get it turned on. To the right is off. That's your main power switch for the furnace. Moving on around, we've got a USB charge port. I'm going to turn this light off for the camera. 110 outlets. So these lights back here just have a push button on them. They go blue or white or clear, whatever you want to call that. We've got 2 of those, another 110 outlet, another USB charge port on the back wall. This big carrying bag right here is going to be the solar panel that comes with the unit for solar charging. And we've got a couple of bungee storage cases on the side, and this really thick fold-up mattress, which actually feels really nice, feels pretty comfortable. It's nice and thick. Okay, so last safety device mounted back in this right corner is going to be that little black oval shaped device there. That's going to be our carbon monoxide LP leak detector. Since we do burn propane on here, we need something to detect if we have a propane leak or carbon monoxide getting into our cabin here, which is unsafe. It does come with a first aid kit and your other safety exit window and your other privacy shade on this side here. A couple of things lastly, mounted to the ceiling is going to be our vent fan. It's going to be all 12 volt controlled. It does have manual crank if you need to, but you just turn it on with the on off switch, it's going to open up. It's already got a full rain vent cover on it, so you can have this sucker open during the rain. It doesn't matter. While traveling, you can keep it open, do whatever you want to do. On off, you can switch the fan to pull air in or pull air out, and speeds. AC controls are going to be mounted right on the lower of the AC. We're going to have 2 knobs. One's going to be basically your temperature control, which is going to be this one with the red and blue lines. The other one's going to be fan or actual cool control. So our gray side is just fan, and the actual blue side will actually start the compressor and allow it to cool. So to turn it to like high cool, you just turn this knob around where it points to high cool basically. As far as controlling your airs, where the air actually comes out from, if you open this lower one, that's going to allow the air blast to come straight down, which is really great if you've been outside and you want to lay down and get that air right on you. We do have vents to the sides as well as the front and the rear, depending on how you want your air to come out. You can adjust it however you want it. So as far as routine maintenance on your air conditioner, there is a filter on board. To get into there, I like to open this very front vent so I can get my fingers in from the top to help pop this open. If you have a flat blade or something like that, it can help too. You're just going to pull this down. Your filter is going to be attached to it. It's that guy right there. You can just rinse it with warm water, get all the buildup off of it. Let it dry completely before you reinstall it back into the air conditioner. It just snaps back in place. Be somewhat gentle with it. You can tear holes into that mesh, which will render it pretty much useless. Get that all the way back in, and then this is just going to snap back in here. You want to line up all the ears on it and get it going, and make sure you snap all the corners in on it. So the last few things that we have to talk about are going to be kind of up on the front wall. This is going to be on the driver's side of the unit. First is going to be this large interior storage compartment. We've got a lot of room in here. We're going to have a lot of the accessories that come with this. We've got stakes for the awnings, your crank handle, your owner's bag from Encore, your American flag, and some other accessories in here. Up top is going to be our converter. This is going to be our power distribution panel, as well as our converter. It's got your 110 breakers in here and all of your 15 amp fuses. A couple of 30s mounted up top. So I always recommend carrying spare 12 volt fuses. You just need to buy a bunch of 15s and keep them on hand, and a couple of 30s just in case you have one blow. It's very easy to replace. This unit, since it is equipped with a lithium battery, this is a lithium ready charger. Now if you get one that you don't spec out with a lithium battery, it's already prepped for it. You just put the lithium battery in, you make a change here, and you're ready to go, which is really nice. This big vent down here at the floor, That's going to be our furnace air return. So you want to make sure if you're camping in the winter, you've got your furnace on, that this does not get blocked. That's going to be that fresh air return to the furnace. And the last thing is going to be our switch down here. This is going to be for our driver's side light, and as you can see, it's got 2 different color options to it. That covers everything, I'm pretty sure, on our Encore ROG 12RK.